What are the questions that EY asks during the interviews, and how should you answer them? You'll find out in this video. The EY interview focuses on behavioral questions. Firms use behavioral interviewing because they believe that how you've acted in the past is a strong indicator of how you'll behave in the future. Behavioral questions often start with, tell me about a time when, or give me an example of. Let's go through common questions you'll get and how you can approach answering them. Why do you want to work for EY? So a lot of people apply for more than one consulting firm, right? When EY asks why you want to work there, they're really trying to see if you've done your homework. They want to know that you get what they're all about, their work, their culture, and that you can explain how you'd fit in. Here's how you can nail this question. Think of a few solid reasons why EY is the company for you. Maybe it's their global reach, or the fact that they've worked with 84% of Fortune 500 companies. Or perhaps it's their cutting edge approach to technology and social disruption. It gets you excited. And let's not forget the people. You might have met some fantastic folks during the recruiting process who made you feel like EY is the perfect fit. Also, you might be asked why you're applying to a specific department. Here's my tip. Make your answer personal. Personalized answers always stand out. Reflect on why you and EY are a great match for each other. Tell me about a skill you have that you haven't yet talked about. When you get this question, it's your chance to highlight any key skills that haven't come up yet in the interview. Think about what EY looks for in their consultants and pick a skill you haven't shown off yet. But you don't just want to list out your skills. That can sound pretty generic. Instead, choose one key skill and share a story that shows how you've used it to make a difference. Explain what you did and what the impact was. Remember, one of EY's core values is all about energy and enthusiasm. So when you talk about your strengths, make sure to show your passion for using your skills to make a positive difference. Describe a time you contributed to a high-performing team. EY is packed with super talented and skilled people who come together to form high-performing teams and solve client problems. They want their consultants to feel confident jumping in and contributing from day one. So when they ask this question, they're really trying to see how you work within a team. They want to know how you'll contribute if you join them and how you'll stand out among the other team members. Make sure to share how you collaborate and bring value to a team. To answer this question, start by describing the context. What was the team working on? How was the team organized? What made them high performing? Next, describe your role. Were you assigned work, or did you take the initiative to break the work up between various team members? What was your specific contribution to the team? Finally, describe how your specific contribution helped move the team forward. How did it fit in with the other team members' contributions? What was the impact of the action you took? How did the rest of the team feel about your contribution? Tell me about a time you disagreed with someone's point of view and how you managed that. EY wants to know how you handle disagreements. In real-life consulting, there will be times when your points of view clash with those other team members or even the client. EY needs you to be able to present your viewpoints confidently and be persuasive. So, share a story about a time when you convinced someone to see things your way. Maybe you use data, logic, authority, or a proof of concept. Also, talk about any negotiations that help bridge the gap between your perspectives and theirs. To answer this question, begin by describing the situation. Who was involved and what was being worked on? Explain what your viewpoint was and why it was in conflict with the other person's. Outline the steps you took to resolve the conflict, including what was finally agreed. Summarize the impact the final decision had and what you learned from the situation. Our alumni have also mentioned that these questions came up during their interviews as well. Tell me about a time when you stepped up as a leader. Tell me how you approach explaining complex things in simple terms. Describe how you approach learning and applying a new skill. Describe what you think are your top 3 strengths and why. Tell me about a time when you successfully managed conflicting deadlines. Tell me about a time you faced uncertainty and how you handled it. Describe how you see your career path over the next 5 years. Why do you want to pursue a career in consulting? Have you ever come across a roadblock you couldn't overcome? What did you do? Describe a time when you needed to build trust with someone you worked with. How did you do that? In 5 years, if you look back at your career in consulting, what would you be most excited to have achieved? Now that we understand the format and what questions to expect, let's discuss how EY will assess your answers. EY measures your answers to the questions against 3 criteria. Relevance. Did you offer a relevant example that answers the question asked? Role. Did you describe what action you took and the logic behind it? Impact. Did you explain the results of the action you took. So make sure you meet each of those requirements in every answer. What's the best way to structure your answer? The best way to nail your answer is by using a framework. It gives you confidence because you'll have a clear structure to follow for each question. Plus, it ensures you're giving the EY recruiting team exactly what they need to score you highly. When answering each question, use the AAR E framework, which focuses on 6 key steps. Answer. Provide a one-sentence answer to the interview question. Situation. Give some brief context to your story. Tension. What caused the friction or challenge in the situation? Action. Briefly describe what action you took in response to the situation and tension. Result. Explain the impact of you taking those specific actions. Effect. Briefly reflect on what you've learned from the result. This step may not apply to all stories. This framework is useful for all behavioral questions, even those that require a list response. For example, if you're asked to list your top strengths, don't just answer communication skills, leadership, and teamwork. Instead, share a story of when you exhibited those strengths and how it helped you fix a situation or achieve a goal. Here's a sample answer to an EY interview question using the AAR E framework. Answer. I believe my top strength to be communication, leadership, and teamwork. This is because of a particularly positive outcome I experienced while working on a challenging school project. Situation. One team member wasn't pulling his weight and we needed his data to finish the project on time. Tension. Everyone else in the team was fed up because we were falling behind, but I knew he was also juggling competing deadlines. Action. We went out for a coffee and he said he was aware that he was letting the team down, but he didn't know how to communicate that he was struggling. By listening to him and gaining a deeper understanding of his competing workload, I was able to provide suggestions that would allow him to still contribute to the team without losing focus of his other commitments. With a plan in place, I then helped him plan out how to communicate his current situation to the rest of the team, which included an apology for his lack of contribution and a proposed way forward so that these issues won't occur again. Result. With my support, he was able to share the issue with our team, and we worked together to reorganize his workload so that we could successfully complete the project on time. In this example, the candidate offered a relevant example that answered the question, they described the action they took, and the positive outcome that occurred as a result of their action. But just because you're telling a story doesn't mean you should ramble aimlessly. Use a framework to make sure that the story is impactful and covers all the main points. We have a video dedicated to behavioral interviews, so I'll add that link in the description. Be sure to check it out. I know that going through the EY interview can feel daunting, but I'm telling you, the best way to pass it is to have a positive mindset. Like all consulting firms, EY is looking for brilliant new consultants to join their firm. I want you to visualize yourself as one of those consultants. That can really help you feel more positive and seem more confident during the interview. So there you are, everything you need to know about the EY interview. And if you're going through an interview like the EY interview, I'd like to help you. Comment down below the firm and the city that you'll be interviewing with, and I will share with you some useful resources to pass it. For example, you can put EY Jakarta if that's your upcoming interview. And if you are 100% serious about becoming a consultant at EY or another amazing firm, I would love to help you. My team and I are former consulting recruiters and interviewers who help applicants get and pass the interviews so they can land their consulting offer. To date, we have a 90% success rate. That means 9 out of 10 applicants who work with us land at least one offer, and we've helped over 800 people already land a consulting job. If you are serious about becoming a management consultant and want to hear how we can help you, click on the link below to book a call with my team to find out more. Booking this call could put you one step closer to landing your offer at EY and other management consulting firms. But you don't have to take my word for it. Hear it from Christian. Christian was able to land his dream offer at EY Parthenon despite coming from a non-target school, having a low GPA, and doing bartending as a side job. I'll link to his videos somewhere besides me. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.